going on, everyone? I decided I'd use my commute to try to talk a little bit about the books I read last night from my weekly pull. So I have 5 kids, so it's a little tough to find time to record longer form things. So I figure I got to use the time that I have to my advantage. So last night I read Batman 142. I read Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries #2, Hexagon Bridge #5, and then the Batman Superman World's Finest annual for the year. So I'll start with Batman 142, and truthfully, a really big swing and a miss for me. I've always preferred a Joker that has a mysterious background. Kind of the less we know about what made him the way he is, the better. Kind of that mystery is what helps make me, enjoy the Batman Joker stories a little bit more. So I'm not a fan of the idea of a Joker Year 1 storyline to begin with, is I guess the first thing. Second of all, there's a particular page in this book in which there's imagery of the Joker being crucified, essentially. It's more of a holding cell, but it's clear what they were going for based on the way that the Joker's positioned and everything. So I have to say that, as a Catholic, I'm really not a fan of that type of imagery in relation to the Joker, considering that it doesn't really make sense for his character anyway. Other than that, the dialogue was a bit odd and a little pathetic, to be honest. And I think that was the point, is, the Joker's internal dialogue is, basically him pleading with himself to not do the things that he's doing. Which, in and of itself, I don't think is a bad idea. And I kind of like that idea. But apart from that, I just don't think it was all that well done. So I actually ended up dropping Batman from my pull list last night. It's just, Zdarsky's run has been pretty good. It's had some high points, but for me, it's been mostly mid to low points. So I'm just not feeling it too much anymore. The second book I'll talk about is Hexagon Bridge #5. So that was the 5th of 5 books in that series, and to a certain extent, it was a little bit of a confusing series. Definitely a lot of abstract, themes and a lot of sort of futuristic stuff going on there. But overall, I kind of liked the way that this one ended, just because it didn't. And spoilers for anyone who doesn't want to know what happens at the end, by the way. The Gerardus, the guy that they thought, the robot that they thought had captured Adley's parents, turns out that he's actually, helped them build and construct within the bridge, which I think is a really cool idea. And it's kind of nice to see the conflict resolved without there being some big bad behind the main conflict. And the entire exercise of Adley guiding Staden through the bridge to find her parents was really just an exercise to improve her psychic abilities so that she would be able to build within the bridge the way that Gerardus was teaching her parents. So on one hand, I think I'd like to see more. I'd like to see more of this. I wouldn't mind a follow-up to this and see, like what they build and things like that. But at the same time, I'm happy with the happy ending, to where Adley gets to be back with her parents and she can build with them with their psychic abilities in the bridge, and then Staden, it looks like at the end he gets a camera and is photographing all of this stuff, which I think is also a really cool idea. overall, that one's pretty good. So then the next one I'll talk about is Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries #2. And there was definitely a drop-off from issue #1. I think that the first one was written by Shali Fish, who is just a master of kids comics, so it's kind of hard to live up to that. And so the second one, there was, I would say, a bit of a drop, but overall it was still enjoyable. The mystery, and again, it's a kids comic, so I'm not trying to be too critical of how easy it is to solve the mystery, but at the same time, this one kind of felt painfully obvious. I haven't read it with my kids yet, because I generally try to read stuff before I read it with my kids, just to kind of preview it and make sure it's all okay. And so I guess we'll see if my kids are able to solve it as easily as I was. The last one is the Batman Superman World's Finest Annual. I really like the setup of this, and I could see if they're gonna have Mark Waid just have this entire sort of world's finest universe at his disposal, currently only having Batman and Superman, and then also Teen Titans. But if they're going to give him this kind of whole universe or timeline or whatever we want to call it, then this annual sort of serves as a this is what's happening within the universe type thing, because we get the fifth dimensional imp story, which I've never been a big Batmite guy, but the stuff I do like with Batmite is generally a lot more Silver Age, old stuff. And then we also get the story with Metamorpho, which I thought was easily the best story in the entire book. The art was fantastic. It was a compelling story. I was a little disappointed that at the end it just said end instead of saying that there might be more. I'm kind of hoping that we get a Metamorpho book set in that world's finest time. I think that'd be really great. The Bumblebee story was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It wasn't anything to write home about, but it was a solid story. And then the last story, I believe, was Challengers of the Unknown. I've never read anything Challengers of the Unknown, so I think that just kind of missed me. It seemed like it was probably a really great story for people who have read that. So if you like Challengers of the Unknown, then pick the book up, because it was well done visually. So it could be great if you know the characters well enough, but I just didn't know anything about them. So yeah, overall, not a terrible week of pulls. I'm definitely gonna be looking for something to replace Batman. I don't think that I think I'm just kind of done with this run. I've given it lots of chances through the lows, and it's never. And maybe it's unfair of me to compare it to Zdarsky's Daredevil run, but it's kind of hard not to whenever it was so recent and so good. So if anyone has any suggestions on what to replace it with, leave it in the comments. If you like the content you've seen so far, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and thanks everyone for watching.